All right, your toast. Go.
Okay. Sarah Nina, for proper effect, you have to insert this speech in front of a large audience. But after much deciding, and it was going to go something like, so for the past couple of days and a couple hours and being around everybody coming to your wedding, I noticed some really nasty, kind of, dirty rumors about certain bachelor party and about some of the individuals, that were, stood for you as your best men, and I felt, the need, kind of obligated as one of the people there to like untarnish people's reputation. So I'm going to give an account of, what actually happened. So waking up, got in my car, drove over to Nina's, and everybody was there right on time. We were good to go. Head down to Kenosha, go to the Renaissance Fair. So we got there, and to our big disappointment, it was closed, and the sheriff's department closed. So we were like, "Oh fudge!" This is kind of got us down. So we decided to go out, get something to eat. So we went and got some food and tipped 30%. And it was, paintballing was a good idea. And Tony Khan's called the paintball place, tried to get it all set up, and we couldn't do it, couldn't make it in time. So like, okay, we'll be fine. We'll think of something to do. People are in tears. Decided to go see a movie. So it's called up Steve. Steve, meet us at the movie. We'll see Stardust. That was good. Great movie. Saw Stardust. It was great. And then after that, they were like, well, we really need somewhere to just chill and hang out and just, be guys. And, okay, let's go to Irish Fest. So that was decided we were going to go to Irish Fest. So we drove down to Irish Fest, going the speed limit, and got there and got in. And as we walked in, we noticed a group of kind of shady characters kind of standing off to the side, and we were like, I don't know, those guys are kind of shady looking, maybe gang activity, we don't know. So we're like, we're going to keep our eye on them totally. So, went and looked at the shops and looked at all the merchandise and talked to the vendors and people for about an hour and a half. And then after that, they were like, well, let's get it's Irish Fest, we'll get a drink. So we each bought a beer, and then we walked around and, sipped it slowly and talked to everybody, and noticed that shady gang of guys when we walked in, and noticed them again, and they were hanging out by this stage. And Nina said, maybe we should, I don't know, because they were kind of standing next to some merchant booths. We don't want any thievery or wrongdoing. So moved over to them, and we kind of walked over there, and we noticed that they were there kind of guarding something, So went behind the stage area, and there was this merchant who was going back there to get his boxes, and there was guys with baseball bats and these 2x4s, and we were like, whoa. So we backed off. We didn't want to get involved in that, but there was definitely some shit going down, and there was no one around to help us out. And you could hear him yelling, because we were it was like the acoustics from behind the stage were good. We heard it out, and they wanted all this guy's money, and all the money from all the beer at Irish Fest. And and they're like, we got your daughter, we're gonna kill her if you don't give us all the beer money. So we were like, oh shit, something's got to be done. And he goes like, no, I can't, I don't have the key to the safe. So he's like, fine, I'm gonna shoot her. And then there's this huge scrabble, and they're running back to this trailer, which is obviously where they were holding the daughter, and the guy pulls out a gun, and he's gonna shoot her, and then it's like, no, you can't do it. And he comes charging from the stage, and like Tony Khan comes in on like this rope, and he swings from backstage, and he like knocks out two of the guys, and then this guy's gonna shoot the daughter because he sees getting attacked, and Nick is like, oh, and he runs like as fast as he can, and he dives, and this guy goes boom and tries to shoot the girl, but he manages to kick out his leg in time, and he gets shot in the ankle, which shatters it in like 5 places. And then he's like, oh god, my ankle. And then he grabs some of the baseball bats from some of these guys, and we're beating the crap out of him, and Nina punched this guy in the face, and then this other guy hit him, and then this other guy ran up and hit Tony as hard as he could in the gut, and he threw up. He just got hit in the gut so hard, he just threw up all over the place, and it was really terrible. And at that time, the security ran around the corner, and the police were there, and there was all these SWAT teams and squad cars, and and then the special investigation unit came in, and they got us all together, and they're like, oh my god, the city we owe you this huge debt for saving this girl's life and for saving all this money, and we think this is part of a bigger crime ring, and we really can't tell, you know, anybody right this right now, because it might blow the cover for this investigation. So we need to circulate this rumor about what happened at Irish Fest, you know, to cover for your bust, because, you know, this is obviously high crime, and, you know, being the good Samaritans that we are, we were like, oh yeah, that's no problem, you know, anything that you want to release out. So then they wrote us up these statements, and they started spreading it around, and they took us back to this trailer, and it was just filled with alcohol, and they're like, you guys have to get really drunk in order for this story to make sense. So they're like, okay, so they made us drink everything in the trailer, and then they took Nick with his gunshot wound to the hospital, and they gave him all this drugs so that he'd forget what happened, and then you know, we really can't tell anybody until you know, the investigation is closed. But I really just couldn't take any more, the slander and the bad name that they were spreading around about us. So that's the official story. But other than that, you two guys are awesome and great, and you can call me whenever, and you know I'm right next door, and I love you guys, and you guys love each other, and it's gonna be awesome and great, and I wish you a long future, and I'll always be there for you guys. So love you both, and happy wedding.